This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not busy tearing the roof off the suckers, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Feel uneasy on your feet? Need assistance to walk? Do you use a wheelchair and want to stand more? What if you could stand stronger and feel steadier on your feet? What would this mean for your daily life and those closest to you? Join our dance-based walking program to improve balance, coordination, strength, and stamina. Wednesdays, May 18th to June 22nd at 2 p.m. at the iconic Columbia City Theater in partnership with Rainier Avenue Radio and Hugs That Empower nonprofit. Walkers, wheelchairs, and canes welcome. If you can stand and bear weight for even just 5 seconds, come dance to walk with Tango Stride.
This is Brenda Charles Edwards, host of Seniors Matter. Join me every week to get information on activities and issues that impact the lives of older adults and their families. That's Seniors Matter every week on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the Cabinets, from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Nightbeat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
The beat of the Fox. K-Fox Nightbeat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The Underground Surround Sound Star Time with Paul Pearson.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Hey everyone, welcome to Clean Greens Living Live, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is one of your hosts, Queen Bree and Robyn T. Welcome, Robyn. Hi, Robyn. How's it going?
It's great. I'm loving your tropical vibe so much.
Thank you. Trying to bring the sun to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How's it going today? How are you?
I am good. Today is a better day. It's been quite a week. So much going on. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. I appreciate you asking. I am okay right now. How are you?
Good. You know, the same. It's been a week, and I have been processing my feelings through everything that has been happening these past few weeks. Because normally, you know, when things happen in the world, we're so numb to it, we just keep going. But I had to sit and recognize that I'm not really okay. Like, I make decisions based off of everything, even if I don't discuss it. So this week, I've been talking more about it. But before we get into that, let's do our land acknowledgements and our announcements.
Okay, thank you. Of course, we are coming to you from Seattle, Washington. This land is the land of the Duwamish and Suquamish tribes. I implore you, I urge you, I invite you to go to www.realrentduwamish.org. Help them out. If you can't donate, you can sign a petition. They need federal recognition. So thank you for that. If you would like to talk to us about land loss for any African American or Black people living in Seattle or the Central District, please get in touch with us. You can go to cleangreensfarmmarket.com. and send us an email. You can reach us at blackdollardaystaskforce.org, and we would love to talk or hear your story. There is stuff going on there as well. And we'd like to thank Carrie Williams, aka Cuddy Fresh, for making our theme music. And let's get into it.
Yes. All right. Announcements. Clean Greens grand opening coming up June 25th. That is right around the corner. I can't even believe it. That's next month. June 25th. Come join us. We will be feeding you guys. It is a block party style barbecue, and we will have vegan options. We'll have DJ, games for kids. What else are we doing? Vendors. Talking about Clean Greens and all of our great programs. We have as we talk about, we have our youth program, and we're going to have a day where we come out and check out our youth garden. We'll be talking about that there. We'll have our youth there talking about the youth program. It's just going to be a day of love and community, which is so needed in these times as we are working and processing through everything that has been going on. Our youth program, we still have a few slots left. If you guys are interested, please contact me or Robyn. Check out our website, check out our Instagram, and connect with us about how you can sign your kids up for the youth program, ages 5 to 18. CSAs are open. Our CSA is open. We have 2 locations, our Central District area and also our North End area. So please get with us and sign up for a CSA. Buy a CSA with Clean Greens and you feed a family. And we just want to thank everybody who supports us, who tunes into our show, who volunteers for Clean Greens. We are always in awe and appreciation of the love that you guys show us. Now, today we're gonna talk about what's happening in the news. And I think we should have a what's happening in the news episode once a month, because so much happens. And Clean Greens is not just about providing fresh produce to the community. It's about building our community and being there for our community and showing up for ourselves in our community. And we have our executive director on, Dr. Jeffrey, today. And we're just going to talk about what's been going on in the news, and what can we do as a community? How are we feeling? We just want to come in and talk about this. And we brought Dr. Jeffrey on because he always has good words of encouragement, and he's always very in the know of the things. I don't want to put him on the spot to know everything, but if you guys have any thoughts, please tune in, talk to us, chat, comment in the chat, and we'll respond back to what you have going on, because things are heavy, you guys. Mm-hmm. And we can't just keep. I've had to acknowledge that I've been numb to everything. Like when I heard about the shootings this week, I was just so numb to it. I was so numb to it that I kept trying to press through, and I realized that I wasn't pressing through. And so I think we need to have this conversation and talk about it and find ways that maybe we can start making changes ourselves. So everybody, welcome on our executive director, Dr. Robert L. Jeffrey.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Yeah. Okay. I know we always just shoot in, but okay, so here is what we want to talk about. So a few weeks ago, there was a shooting in Buffalo, a grocery store, where and it was an African-American grocery store. 10 African-American people were shot and killed just because of the skin of their color. Yeah. I mean, the color of their skin. Fast forward to this week, we have another mass shooting. Yeah. And I was looking at something, we're on social media, we're listening, and we're looking at things. President Biden says there has been 900 school shootings since Sandy Hook. That's not even including grocery stores, churches, movie theaters, other public areas.
Just on
schools. And our kids' school, we won't say the name, but our kids' school had a shutdown last week because someone was saying crazy things to the kids and throwing stuff on the playground.
Yeah.
So they experienced not shootings, but they experienced trauma.
Yeah.
With stuff like that. So we just wanted to talk about it and debrief about it. One of you guys want to start, or do you?
Well, I mean, I can start. I mean, I think there are two things that we have to deal with. First, you have to deal with the systemic problems in this country. And a part of the systemic problems is the whole concept of profit over community benefit, community welfare. I mean, the country does not make a distinction between profit that is against community benefit, that has a negative community benefit, and profit that has a positive community benefit. So people are able to make profit regardless of whether or not the community is benefited or not. That went for the cigarette industry for a long time, and now it's the gun industry, as well as other industries where people are making billions of dollars off hurting the community. And in this system, they don't make a distinction about that. They just simply about how much money can you make. And of course, once you make this money, then you have infrastructure to secure yourself, like the NRA secures the gun lobby, and the cigarette industry had its own infrastructure to secure through advertisement its entity. But the NRA is probably the primary infrastructure for the gun lobby and for gun manufacturers. I mean, the NRA right now is going to have a convention in the very state that just suffered this heinous act. I mean, this is an act of just total evil and craziness, and they're going to celebrate guns, the religion of guns, next week in Texas, because they don't make the connection between guns being a problem for any civilized society. To anybody can get a gun and go in and kill 19 children and 2 teachers. And their solution primarily is to arm the teachers. I mean, even in the military, they don't arm the soldiers until after 6 weeks or 8 weeks training, and then they teach them about guns, and then of course, it's just to give them psychological tests and all that stuff. This is just on the face of it, just something they say in order to stall for time until everybody forgets about that 19 children just got killed. 19 brown children.
I think it's another revenue stream for them if they arm teachers, and that's like another way to spin it for them making more money. And I actually do think they make the connection. They have all the facts and figures.
Yeah. Actually, you're right. The gun manufacturers, by arming the teachers, they get more money. they increase their revenues. So
they don't care. They've proven they don't care about deaths and background checks and things. So they're like, perfect.
Yeah. Another systemic part of it is fear. The promulgation of fear in our society, which is directly related to what happened in Buffalo. You've got politicians talking about immigration. You have politicians talking about people replacement, the replacement theory, people replacing Black people, replacing Jews, replacing immigrants, replacing the white vote, and all of that, which is highlighted by Donald Trump's refusal to accept that he lost an election simply because of the effect of people of color. It's like they are not supposed to be able to put out a sitting president because of who they are. And this whole subcultural thing going on where politicians are talking about the threat to the American way of life, and the threat to historical Americans. When they say historical Americans, they're talking about white people. And basically this fear mongering and which is going on, is heightening the need for people who feel threatened for guns. I mean, and so, this is all pushing that industry, and many of them are benefiting from that. Many of them are benefiting from that personally because of they're having stock in these companies, and benefiting from it politically because these companies help their bottom line for their elections. And in the NRA next week, the gun lobby will be in the lobby of the hotel or wherever, the convention center, and they'll have their booths. And just like we'll have small business people paying small sums, very small sums, to be in our block party, they'll have the gun manufacturers in their convention center marketing the newest technology in how you can kill people. And so they'll have their AR-15s. They'll have all of the different conglomerate kinds of guns that people can buy, and thousands of people will attend this convention, and they'll pay millions of dollars to the NRA to be able to market their wares. So money, this is big money, and this money is pouring into lobbyists, and this is the systemic problem. This is why we can't bring any kind of sanity to this issue. Now, one of the things I was just really appalled by, and I thank O'Rourke for saying something, because I was screaming at the television. So I mean, doing the news conference in Texas, and he had the nerve and the guts to say something on camera. Even though they drug him out, but he at least said it. And I think that this is what people have to do. People have to stop being quiet about this stuff, because this is really dangerous. And they were talking about the gunman being evil, but they were being evil by not talking about the issue, not talking about what's going on. They kept talking about mental health, but one of the things that we don't see when people buy guns is a mental health evaluation. So if you think mental health is the problem, why don't people, before they can buy a gun, get a mental health evaluation and have a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist sign a release form for them to buy the gun? By not doing that, then you're saying you don't really care if mental health, people who are having mental health issues buy guns, because you're not doing anything preventive. You're not putting anything in the path. So if mental health is the issue, then anybody who purchases a gun should have a mental health evaluation, in addition to some kind of training and courses or something like that. My belief is that you should outlaw guns like the MR-50, the AR-15. I mean, those assault weapons should be just outlawed. I mean, the only reason to buy those is to kill people. You don't kill an animal with an AR-15. You kill people with an AR-15, and you kill people in bulk. You say, well, I want to kill as many people as I can if they're attacking my house. Well, unless we have some kind of civil war, which I believe some of these people are primed for and they're planning for, unless that happens, you're going to have one or two thieves breaking your house. You don't need an AR-15 to kill two people. To ward off two people. So I think that's just an erroneous argument. And I think that because of the fear that's being pushed by people who talk about people taking over their country, taking over their vote, people feel like that, well, I got to be able to kill 15, 20 people who come in my house. And those people are obviously saying that it's us against them, which is what the political narrative is in this country today. I think we need universal background checks, along with mental health evaluations. I think that we need to look into the technology that makes guns safe. The money should be spent on how you make guns safe, so that people, if they steal guns, they can't use them. There is technology out there right now, but it's being blocked by the NRA. Buying a gun ought to be connected also to brain development.
Yes.
I wouldn't let.
Yes.
I wouldn't let my 12-year-old child just get in the car and drive. Some 12-year-old kids can drive, but they don't have the perspective to drive. And I think that there is a perspective to owning a gun that an 18-year-old simply does not have. And I think that science has said that the floating brain is not really fully developed until around 25 or 26. But, you maybe not wait that long. Some people say 21, but 18 years old just absolutely is not the time to allow a person to buy a gun, much less a gun that can kill that many people. And then also buy the ammunition. Ammunition that can only be used to kill people. You're buying that ammunition in bulk, you're not going to be killing animals with that kind of ammunition. You're going to be killing something else. And the fact that that's being allowed, and then the defense is mental health issues, and nothing is being done in the communities to address mental health issues. I mean, I think that we need to do a lot more in our communities to address mental health issues. We need to make analysis before trauma, before people get into trauma. We need to have places in our community where people can go just to do analysis because of the things that they've been through in their lives. Rich people can do that. They can have an analyst, but poor people have to wait until they have some kind of mental breakdown before they get an analysis. But by then, it's too late. They've either destroying their bodies, destroying themselves, destroying their families, and before they even understand that before they reach out to get that help. I think that help should come. Everybody should be able to get an analysis. I mean, after they leave the home, there should be places where people can go just to sit out and talk about how they grew up and the problems that they went through. And these things the stigma should be taken off of these things. These things should be done in our communities in terms of safe houses or just places where people in our community where people can go and get for timeouts and stuff like that, where they can just talk. Those things are not being done. And so I think that, we live in this culture and bottom line is not being done because there's money being made. There's money being made and also there are agendas being achieved. For example, the Ku Klux Klan wants guns. The NRA wants to protect guns. The Aryan Nation wants guns. Those people, that young man who walked into Buffalo was able to get a gun and was able to buy as much ammunition as he needed. And he probably had support base under him, encouraging him to do these kind of things. But we know that the kinds of things that go on the internet are encouraging a lot of young men to do this. So, yeah, I think that those are some of the things that I just think about right now as we go through this crisis. And, 89% of Americans want some kind of background check, and it's still not being done. And that is just appalling. So I just wanted to put that out there.
No, thank you. That was good information. If you guys are just tuning in, you're tuning in to Clean Greens Living Live, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. I am your host, Queen Bree, along with Robyn T. and our special guest, our Executive Director for Clean Greens Farm and Market, Dr. Robert L. Jeffrey. We are talking about the shootings in Buffalo and this past week, Texas. What you said was so on point and right. And what you said is right too. They know what they're doing. Like even when Trump is scheduled to appear at this NRA meeting. And guess what? No guns, no weapons, no backpacks. None of that stuff is allowed when he comes in there to have this conversation.
He was afraid of people throwing fruit at him. he was tripping about people throwing fruit at him. So he's going to protect themselves from guns. Yeah. I mean, he's a coward. These people are basically cowards. These people are basically setting fires and allowing them to blaze because they know they're insulated from that blaze. They're setting the fires, and then they're going into their enclaves, and they don't have to worry about the blaze, but they're profiting from the blaze. They're profiting from the fires they set. And profit before community welfare is not a good foundation for any civilization. I mean, I don't understand how people can promote civilization based on that premise. That as long as you make a profit, it's okay as long as you don't break laws to make it. I mean, it doesn't matter what you sell.
They changed the laws anyways.
Yeah, they changed
just like enslavement. This is literally the foundation.
Yeah.
The foundation is always profit over people, indigenous people, Africans that came, and it's literally the foundation. And you just said, how could that be the foundation? So like, this is, I think, why we're wondering, like, and when Brianne was saying, I think before you came on, is like, we're partly numb and we're angry and we're noticing that this has kind of been how it's been forever. Since then, not since before, because indigenous people were here doing other things. And we're wondering, aside from all of like the policy problems and the corruption problems. Like, as individuals, how do we take care of ourselves? How do we take action? How do we continue to be parents and community members?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do with ourselves right now in this moment?
I think we have to reject the idea of division. I think we have to reject any kind of notion of division. I think we have to reject any kind of politician who talks about division of any kind in our community. Politicians who come against the rights of women, politicians who come against immigrant rights, politicians who talk racial division. We have to reject all of that, and I think that we have to actually push our local governments because you have local governments local politicians who echo these themes, and and they are part of the problem. Anybody who's not trying to deal with this issue of community togetherness, anybody who's supporting this kind of these divisive memes and these divisive ideologies are a part of the problem. They are a part of the problem, because this all of this stuff is coming out of this division, this sense of division, this sense that this sense that we're not in this thing together, this sense that I can violate your rights, that I have a right to tell you how to, for example, control your own body. All of this stuff is together. All this stuff is together, because once you start doing these kinds of things, then you're creating that us against them mindset that creates that whole hostility, out of which that hostility grows. And I think that there are enough problems just being alive than having to deal with systemic problems created by the culture itself. So we have to deal with that, address that everywhere we see that, and be very, very active. Be very active. You can't be passive. You have to be active. You have to speak up. You have to say something, and understand that it might be affecting this person over here today, but it will affect you at some point or another. And so I think that those vigilance and activism is important right now. I mean, extremely important. In any issue where people are being divided, you should be there trying to address that what's going on, and trying to say, no, that's not the way we can move forward. We have to be one. We have to accept. We have to merge ourselves. We can't support that kind of social division in our society.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking today. I was trying to find the words to articulate like what I've been feeling and what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And every time this happens, we always talk about religion and politics. Someone sent me a video today with a preacher denouncing Democrats in his audience. If you're a Democrat, get out of here. Like, you have to be aware of the division that they're calling us, that they're trying to do with us when we talk about politics. When we talk about politics, we can't, we as a people, we can't be talking about politicians. We have to stand up like O'Burke, is that how you say his name?
O'Rourke.
O'Rourke, yeah. We have that right to stand up like he did.
Yeah.
Let him stand alone.
You might be drug out of the convention center, but I mean, that's not the point. The point is that you can't allow this narrative of divisiveness to be the narrative of your community, whether it's dividing you against the gay community or the transgender community, whether it's dividing you against women's rights and abortion, the right to abortion, whether it's dividing you, any narrative that's going to try to make this country, divide this country, and pit one group against another is an erroneous narrative. And we have to stand against that narrative. You can't use religion to support notions of division. I mean, even in religion, in Christianity, I mean, God's grace covers everybody. We are not judges. Jesus tells us, don't judge. Don't put yourself in a position where you're in judgment of other people. I mean, those are clear narratives in the scriptures. So people are twisting this stuff. Anytime you see people trying to divide other people, trying to come against any group for any reason, that's a narrative we have to stand against. We have to be totally against it. And I think that even, it's not a political thing, because the Democrats, were the ones that pushed us out of the central area, said, pitted us against each other, said blacks are not worthy to be here. I mean, so it's not a political, it's not a party. It's a notion. It's a notion on the part of some people that certain people are less than, and certain people we have to protect ourselves against. And that is that notion from which these arbiters of death, these creatures are allowed to thrive, because they give us a quick solution. They give us a quick solution. Hire more policemen, get more guns, buy more guns, get more protection, hire more people, get more enforcement, have police in the schools, have this, have that, to protect our erroneous notions that help make us feel that the other is a threat against us, or against what we want, or what we desire. It is those notions that are underlying this, as well as the notion that prophet is God. That's a notion that this country has to renounce, because to me, that is the most unholy notion that has ever existed in humanity, that anything is more important than the preservation of community and the preservation of our being our brothers and sisters keepers.
Dr. Jeffrey, you are leaving us with a good word. I hate to even cut you off because you were giving it, and I hate to even take us to church, but you took us to church, and I'm gonna say this, and we are out. Even in the Bible, when they talk about religious and Christianity, the Bible says you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah.
God is not in this.
No.
And we have the right as people and community to stand up. I thank you guys all for tuning in to Clean Greens Live Alive, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. Up next is Traffic Jam, and take time for yourself. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.